Hello everyone and welcome back to Music Lessons Live with me, Ollie, here on the New Wave Arts Facebook page. I hope you all had a lovely weekend and I hope you enjoyed our last lesson as well on Friday. As I always mention, Music Lessons Live with me are going to be every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 10 a.m. here on the Facebook page. We will be putting them up onto YouTube as well, and for those schools who have asked, we will make sure we send those for your online resource pages as well. So what we're going to be getting up to today is this. We are going to be getting up to a little bit of Obviously by McFly, and we're going to be doing it on guitar today. Okay, I'm going to put the tab up in the comments now for you. These tabs are from Tabs, which is an amazing online resource that I use all the time. The chords on there and the chord charts, something that we went over on Friday, are all for ukulele. However, I'm going to go over the chords today on guitar for you. We're also going to go over a little bit of theory as well. We're going to have a little look and talk about rhythms. And I'm also going to show you a little tool as well that you can use for your guitar to help you out when it comes to singing and changing the key of the music to help you out, because this piece of music requires us to use what we call a capo, which is a little tool that we use on guitar to help us out sometimes. So first of all, let's go through rhythms. So rhythm, what is rhythm? Anytime we listen to a piece of music, it has a rhythm, and there's two parts to rhythm that I like to think about: is the time signature, okay, and the way we play things, and the timing of which we play things as well. So, for example, in Obviously by McFly, the rhythm, okay, or the time signature is in 4/4. Okay, so what does 4/4 mean? That means that there are 4 beats that we have to count out. So when we play through the music, you'll probably hear me going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is the time signature. That is how we're going to count out our piece of music. We're just going to continually go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. When we do other kinds of music as well, there might be a different time signature. So, for example, you could have 3/4, and we'd count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 2/4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There's loads and loads of different kinds of rhythms, but for today, all we've got to focus on is 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we have two styles as well. We have a straight rhythm, and we have a swung rhythm. In Obviously by McFly, we've got a swung rhythm that we're going to be counting out. What do I mean by a swung rhythm? A straight rhythm, we would count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you'll probably hear when I'm counting out those numbers, I'm putting in little ands in between. Those show us our half notes that we sometimes play in music. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That is our straight rhythm. Our swung rhythm goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it's got a bit of that swinging kind of feel. And in McFly's, obviously, it is a swung rhythm. So we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay. So that's a bit of time signatures. When we create different rhythms, it's when we play certain parts on different times. So, for example, I could clap on beats 2 and 4. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I've created a rhythm there. So it's when we play on those different times and different numbers when we're counting out our time signature. For example, in the song "We Will Rock You," 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just clapping and like stamping our feet on those different times to create a rhythm. And there's a really cool game that you can do to help you understand rhythm a little bit more, and it's called the syllable game. And this is something you can do either after this session with the kids at home, or if you're in school now as one of the key work students, as you can have a little go at doing this yourself. So what you would do is you would get 5 different words with different syllables in. So the first word would have 1 syllable in, for example, dog, cat, rat. The second word would have 2 syllables in, like tiger or lion. The third word would have 3 syllables, so butterfly, elephant. The fourth word would have 4 syllables, so caterpillar, crocodile. And then the fifth word, I think crocodile, yeah, crocodile, yeah. And then the fifth word, 5 syllables, and that one is hippopotamus. Then what you do is you're going to choose 2 of those words, not telling anyone else, and you're going to clap out that rhythm, leaving a little gap in between. So, for example, if I chose lion and butterfly, I'd go. And then it's the job of the others around you to guess those 2 words that you've clapped out in the correct order. And what you're doing there is you're creating your own rhythm, and it's a really good way to see, number one, how creative you can get. Maybe you can add in more words as it gets a little bit more difficult, and it gets you thinking about the timing and when you need to clap and things like that. Brilliant. Right, so let's get into obviously by McFly. So what we do during these sessions is we will break it up during the week. So today we're only going to be looking at verse number 1 and the chords in that and the rhythm in that, and then at the end we'll have a little play along with the guitar. On Wednesday, we will look at the next section, which I believe is going to be the chorus. And then on Friday, we will look at that very final section, which is a little bridge section. And then we'll have a go at playing the whole song together. So we spread it out during the week, so it gives you time to practice and have a little go at playing along as well at home. But yeah, most importantly is to give you some practice time. So let's go through this first section together. Now, as I mentioned, we are going to be looking at this today. This is a capo. Okay. Now, our capo is a little tool that we use for guitar to help us change the key of the music that we are playing. So if you open up your tabs right now, you'll probably see that we are in the key of C. So the first chord that we play is that C major chord. Okay, I'm just playing that on my guitar now. But when we listen to the music is slightly different. It sounds a little bit different. However, I did my research and I definitely know that this is the correct way to be playing those chords. So what do? We use a capo, which McFly did use as well. I researched very, very, very hard. And we're going to put this capo on the first fret of our guitar. And what you'll notice is that the key of the music has now moved up. Okay, so instead of playing C, we're technically playing a different kind of chord, but we still get to use that C shape. So it makes it a little bit easier for us as guitar players to play along with this song. Now, if you don't have a capo at home, that is totally fine. Okay, you can get them online relatively cheap. In fact, you can get them as cheap as, I think I've seen one once before for about £2. Okay, you can get them really, really cheap. But if you don't have one at home, please don't worry, you can still play along with us. Just remember that you're going to be playing in that key of C, and our key that my key, sorry, that I'm going to be playing in is going to be slightly different. It's going to sound slightly different. But don't worry, continue playing along, and yeah, give it a go, and I'm sure it will sound fine at home. But if you can, try and get one of these capos. They're really useful tools, and I don't know where I'd be without one for some of the gigs and lessons that I've done in the past before. So I will quickly play through verse 1 for you, for obviously, and then we'll go over the chords and the rhythm as well. So it sounds something like this. So that's it. That is the first part, the first verse of Obviously by McFly. Okay, so we're going to go over the chords, and then I'm going to show you the rhythm, the strumming pattern that we need to do. I'm going to show you a simpler version for today, just to make it a little bit easier for those who are playing with me at home. But if you want to, I can show you the more complex version as well, if you want to give that a go. So the first chord that we've got, okay, is C major. Now, if you tuned in on Friday, you'll know that we went over the C major chord, the G major chord, the A minor chord, and the F major chord, and we also went through what the difference is between major and minor as well. So we've got C major for today. So make sure that capo is on fret number 1. If you don't have a capo at home, please don't worry. Continue to follow along with me. You'll just be playing in a slightly different key, and the chords will sound slightly different, but don't let that throw you off. So C major, okay, we're going to take our third finger, okay, on our left hand. So again, if you're playing left-handed, make sure, so if you're playing left-handed, you'll be using your right hand. If you're playing like me, you'll be using your left hand if you are right-handed. Again, go back to our video from Friday to have a little look at that correct playing position, the way you need to be holding your guitar correctly, to go through all that. Again, if I'm rushing as well, just pause me or rewind. Again, all these lessons will be going up onto our YouTube channel as well, and they will stay on our Facebook page. So if you get a little lost along the way, please don't worry. You will have time to have a little look and help you out with practicing. So C major. Sorry, I was going off a bit of a tangent then. C major. We're going to use our third finger, or our ring finger, and we're going to place that on the 3rd fret, or if you've got a capo on like me, the 4th fret here now, of the A string. Okay, so this string here. So it's the second one from our lowest string. So 3rd finger on the 3rd fret, or the 4th fret if you've got a capo, on the A string. Your second finger, or your middle finger, goes on the 2nd fret, or the 3rd fret if you've got a capo, on the D string. And then your first finger goes on the 1st fret or the 2nd fret if you're playing with a capo, on the B string. And that is C major. Now when we play C major, we don't want to play this lowest string here. If we do, we get that chord not sounding quite right because of that low bass note. So we want to get starting on that note that we're playing on A to get C major. Okay, now for the first line and the intro, all we've got to do is play C major. There is another chord on there called C add 9. Now this chord is quite difficult to play, so if you don't want to play it, you don't have to. If you do want to have a go at playing it, all you've got to do is keep that C chord position, and what you're going to do is you're going to take your pinky finger, or your 4th finger, you're going to place it on the 3rd fret, or the 4th fret if you've got a capo, on the B string. And you get that C add 9 chord, which is quite a nice sounding chord. I quite like that one. And that is basically the first part of Obviously. Nice and easy. All we're doing is we're just repeating that chord. The next chord we've got is G major. Okay, G major is something like this. So we've got our 2nd finger, or our middle finger. We place that on the 3rd fret, or 4th fret if you've got a capo, on the E string, so the lowest string here. Then we'll take our 1st finger, okay, or our index finger. We place it on the 2nd fret, or the 3rd fret if you've got a capo, of the A string here. And then finally, we put our 3rd finger, okay, or our ring finger on the 3rd fret if you're playing without a capo, 4th fret if you are, on the E string. And that is G major. F major. Okay, now there's 2 ways of playing F major. There's this way here, which is what we call a bar chord, and there's also this way here that I was playing a moment ago, which is a little bit more of an easier way to play. So I'm going to quickly go over F major. So what we do is we take our 3rd finger and we place it on the 3rd fret, or the 4th fret if you're playing with the capo, on the D string. Then you take your 2nd finger or your middle finger, you place it on the 2nd fret or the 3rd fret if you're playing with the capo, on the G string. And then you take your 1st finger, okay, you go place it on the 1st fret or the 2nd fret if you're playing with a capo. And as I mentioned last week when we were going through this chord, is you're going to do what we call barring. Okay, so you're going to press down on the B and the E string. So D string and all those other chords. There. Brilliant. So we've got C. We've got C add 9. If you want to have a go at playing that, you don't have to. We've got G. We've got F. Or, and then we go back to C. One. Okay. So the strumming pattern that we're, you'll know that you need to be doing your thumbs up technique to play this. So you're using your thumb. If you've got a guitar like me, you've got okay. However, if you've got one of these, okay, this is what we call a plectrum. So it's a little piece of plastic. A lot of plectrums look very different. Some have quite pointy ends. Mine doesn't, okay, because I've played mine a lot. So mine's kind of rounded off a little now. But these little pieces of plastic help us play our guitar when we've got things like on my guitar, I've got these metal strings. And over time, when you play with your finger, it really, really, really starts to wear it down, because unfortunately, metal is stronger than your thumb. So a little plectrum can help you out getting that really nice acoustic sound, but as well, it also kind of saves your fingers from a lot of pain. Now, the reason we don't use it on a ukulele is because the strings are made out of plastic and they're a lot softer. And if we used it on, again, guitars with those plastic strings and those horse wound strings, is it would wear out the strings a lot more quickly if you use a plectrum. So please make sure you're using a plectrum on a guitar that is using metal strings, as it really does save the strings, and it also saves you a little bit of money as well. So if you've got one of these, you can use it, but if not, just use your thumb instead. Now, I did say I'm going to show you 2 different kinds of rhythms to play along to. I'm going to show you the simpler one now without C add 9. Then I'm going to show you the little bit more difficult one with C add 9. Okay. So for the intro, we play C 4 times. Okay. So remember our counting that we do: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then for the first line of the music, we play C 4 times again. And 3 and 4 and. We play that just once. want to make sure you've got a piece of a pencil or a piece of paper to jot this down. So we've got C 4 times in the intro. We've got on the first line C 4 times, G once, F once, and then C 2 times. Okay. The rhythm, the simple rhythm, is this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you'll notice, I'm strumming down on beats 1 and 3. Okay, so I'm just strumming down on beats 1 and 3. Let's have a little practice of that now. And the first line. So we're playing C 4 times on the intro and on line 1. And we're strumming on beats 1 and 3. We're strumming down, okay? And it's that swung rhythm, that swung feel. I'm going to do a quick counting to 4, and then we're going to have a little go at doing it together. As I said a lot in my previous ukulele lessons, we always take it nice and slow when we're first practicing. Okay, when we're first trying something out. If we go really quick at the start, it's going to be really difficult, especially if we've never played this before. So we take it nice and slow, and over time, the more you practice, the more you can start to speed it up, and the better you'll get at it as well. So let's try it nice and slowly at the start. As always, you can pause, rewind, or you can rewatch this at the end of the session as well. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So nice and easy for us at the start. The second line, we've got G, F, C. A little bit more difficult for us, okay? For one beat, so we're going to go 1. Let's try have a go at doing that for us now. So sorry, I did say we play G for one beat, so we're going to play G for one round of 4. Okay, what we call a bar. So we're going practicing along. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Brilliant, and that is it. Okay, for the next part, lines 3 and 4, we just repeat lines 1 and 2 again. Okay, so it's quite a nice little easy part there for us to learn. I'm going to show you the more complicated version now. So I'm going to show you the more complicated rhythm. So the more complicated rhythm sounds something like this. So we're going down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, up. I'll go through it again a little bit more slowly. So this right hand, okay, if you're playing right-handed, if you're playing left-handed, it will be the other way around. Is with your thumb or with your plectrum, is we're going to strum down, down, up, down, up. down, down, up, down, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Down, down, up, down, down. Up. So the key to doing playing down, down, up, down. If you can get into that habit early on, it makes it up strokes. Because I see a lot of people sometimes going like this: down, down, up, down, up, and it's almost like they're trying to control. It seems very robotic. Okay, you want to get that natural feel when you're playing. Okay, so again, a really good little practice technique there is just try going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and going up and down like so, and then maybe take out a beat. So you take out beat 2, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and so on. And taking out those little beats kind of helps you get used to keeping that certain strings at certain times, and it does really help if you do that in practice. So as I mentioned, it's down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. Okay. The chords. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3. So we play C. Okay, so this time we're playing C for a whole bar. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. However, we're adding in that C add 9 now. So we add that C add 9 on beats 2 and. Okay, so we're going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And as you'll notice when I'm playing, I'm keeping my C chord shape there, and all I'm doing is just adding in that little. That 4th fret or 3rd fret if you don't have a. And 2 and 3. Okay, and again, like for our simpler version, it's C to C add 9 4 times in the intro, C to C add 9 4 times on line 1. And then we go to G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 to F, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and at the end we have C twice. After that, we repeat it twice at the end. Okay, brilliant. So for those of us who are doing our simple version, this moment to have a little practice, please do, or if you want to have a little rewind just to help you out. We're going to go through verse 1 now. We're going to try playing it all the way with the chord changes. We're happy with the rhythm, and then we'll call it a day. The first little part of verse 1. I know there is another part at the end, okay, but we're going to for Wednesday. Right, here we go. Let's give it a go. So starting on the C chord. Again, those of us who are doing our simple version, strumming on beats. Complicated version or our more trickier version. Remember those C to C add 9. C add 9 comes on beats. Down, 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 up, down, up. Okay. I'll do my 4 beat counting. and we're going to play all the way through. Be confident, give it a go. If you feel like you're getting, you're kind of not being able to keep up, don't worry, keep trying, keep looking ahead on the music tab that you should have opened up in the comments. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2. First line, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and to F, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. To G we go, 1 and 2 and 3 to F. Brilliant, well done if you're able to play along then. If not, don't worry. As I mentioned, these videos are going to stay up here on our Facebook page and you'll be able to find them on. As I mentioned, this is just verse 1 of Obviously by McFly. Next, on Wednesday, we are going to be learning the final little part of the verse, and we're going to have a little look at the chorus as well. As I mentioned, I think we've got a little bit of trouble there with the video. As I mentioned, is you'll be able to find us on YouTube as well, where all these videos will head up. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Enjoyed, and I'll catch you all soon.